And the raid of the Occupy Oakland site, politicians appear to be clamoring to make their opinions about the protests known. NBC Bay Area's Tracy Grant joins us in San Francisco, where some are wondering how much of a political tool now is this being used, especially since we're just a few weeks away from that election.
Well, Jessica, people here at Occupy SF say that they have been dealing with the daily notion that police could arrive here at any time and crack down on this encampment. Last night, they were sure officers were on the way, and that notion was fueled by several of the city supervisors and mayoral candidates who showed up to say they supported the protesters. But was that really all? Or has this become a way to curry favor with voters?
Ed Lee. Ed Lee is Ed Lee. We're kind of anxious to see him be voted out.
As media liaison for Occupy San Francisco, Amanda Chappell says she knows what her fellow protesters living here in this encampment are feeling. She says they don't like interim Mayor Ed Lee, and they won't be supporting his run for office.
We want to see that we can do anything we can to avoid a confrontation between the Occupy SF protesters and the San Francisco Police Department.
Chappell says when 5 city supervisors showed up at Justin Herman Plaza last night, 2 of them running against Lee for mayor, many of the protesters took notice.
We're a very big part of the mayoral campaigns. Supporting us has been identified as a really good idea.
They've been receiving warnings from the city about health and safety violations and have been expecting a police raid to come at any time. And that's fueling a negative opinion about Lee.
I have asked our chief to always be ready because I've been insistent that we have to be ready to enforce our laws.
Many say Lee's opponents, who are openly siding with protesters, may be jumping on the bandwagon they believe is headed toward the most votes. P.J. Johnston is a political consultant and was a spokesperson for former Mayor Willie Brown. He says if he were advising candidates in the race, he would tell them to exploit this issue.
I would probably take a good look at the advantages to go and link in arms with people and showing your solidarity.
As people who are, running for mayor, we see that this is captivating, the attention of the voters. I'm not trying to get in front of it. I've been trying to do what I've been doing forever.
Well, San Francisco's police chief says he actually had no intention of coming here last night. He says his officers were on Treasure Island for some training and also just in case they had to provide some mutual aid for Oakland Police Department if violence actually ignited at that site as well. Live in San Francisco, Tracy Grant, NBC Bay Area News.
We'll continue to monitor the situation out there tonight as well. Well, Governor Jerry Brown has laid out a plan to reform California's public